Johnny and Justin were two simple Imagineers at Disneyland until they dared to ask the question,
"Hey Justin, is Disney diverse?"
Huh. Well, Johnny, I'm not.
Oh no, we've angered the mouse!
Stormtroopers, run!
Holy crap, it's a gathering of cookies!
Now, from undisclosed locations within the Disney park, Johnny and Justin record a podcast where they seek to answer the question, is the Disney catalog diverse?
Hey everybody, welcome back. Welcome to Disney+Diversity. I'm Johnny.
I'm Justin.
And I'm Nellii.
Yay! And welcome to Disney+Diversity, where we talk about all cool things Disney, but we look at them through a critical lens as we talk about Disney and the relationship to diversity and inclusivity, and looking like how do they treat people of color, minorities, LGBTQ queer community, and everybody else. And today we're talking about something really, really cool. We're talking about
Zenon.
Girl!
From
21st century.
There it is. Thank you. Now, before we go on, I do point out that our part of the deal with our show is they were constantly in the run and in the hiding from the Disney company, but we are hiding right underneath their noses, specifically in the little green men store command store that's right by the Buzz Lightyear racers. So that's where we're currently at right now. So once in a while you might hear zoom because people are racing at each other and etc. Maybe some people are probably buying little green men toys.
Probably.
That's where we're at. But it makes sense because we are in Tomorrowland right now. So we'll be talking about a girl from the future. So
exactly. Works out perfectly. So as we get into it, what do you guys like? What were your thoughts after you watched it? What were your initial thoughts?
I'm gonna not lie and say wasn't half bad.
Right? Yeah, I enjoyed the shit out of it.
So good. It was so good. Like, I gotta be honest with you, I was not like going in to watch it because like I remember as a kid when it always came on, it was one of those movies I just kind of like it was always skipped. Because I remember they did Z2, Z3, and so they're always showing Zenon. I'm just kind of like, I'm good. I don't want to watch this. Like, I don't get it. But looking back on that, I'm like, I so regret it because I had such a good time watching it now.
No. It's definitely a movie where I saw the commercial on Disney Channel and went, I'm like turning 15. I probably am good on this. I don't need to watch Disney shows or movies anymore. But as I watched it, I was like, hey, I've seen way more painful things. And this is not close to painful. Like, this was simple and fun and enjoyable. I'm shocked I had a decent time with this.
I actually had more of a memory of the second one.
Really?
Yeah.
When I
rewatched it, I was like, oh shit. So most likely, I never watched the original. I only watched the second movie. Because when I watched the original, I was like, holy shit, like, I don't remember this movie, and I hate that I missed it as a kid. But no, it's delightful. Like, I would make my siblings watch this, because it's that good.
Let's go a bit into the history of the property. Now, the creator of the show, or we have two creators of the show, right? And I believe I can pull up my information too. So
I gotta be honest, so it was based on Zenon Girl 21st Century, which is a book, a graphic novel or something along those lines, done by Marilyn Sadler and Roger Bolin, which is like really cool because, again, it's a comic book writer myself, and I found out about this. I was like, this was a comic first? It made it even so much good, and I wish I could find that comic now.
But interesting enough, when this was in production, this actually hilariously was a failed pilot.
Really?
Yeah, I read about that too.
And it was directed by a filmmaker named Kenneth Johnson. Kenneth Johnson has a strangely prolific film career. He was the creator of V, the sci-fi miniseries V. Was the showrunner and was the showrunner for the Incredible Hulk TV show in the 70s.
Oh wow!
Fuck.
And directed and created Alien Nation.
Seriously?
What? That same guy did Zenon Girl of the 21st Century. Not even close. Like, that is not a career trajectory I thought he was gonna go. But he directed at least the pilot, and this pilot is essentially what we watch. It's essentially a 90-minute version of what would have been a show, but didn't really work, but they decided to still air it as a movie. And weirdly enough, was successful enough as a movie.
Yeah. And then the movie has like, it's weird because like the movie now has almost like a cult following in a way, because like I remember like going back and you talk to people about some of their favorite Disney films now, you know, Smart House will come up, Halloween Town will come up, Big Green, like all these random movies will come up. But I've always noticed though, like a lot of the female friends that I have always go to Zenon. And I'm like, I've never seen it. And a lot of guys I know, sadly enough, didn't watch Zenon. Probably for the same reasons that you brought up, is that like when you're about that age, you're just kind of like, maybe not. And you go on to like do something else.
Right.
And we were fools. We were obviously fools for it because it was so good.
Like, I was a kid who watched Gem not knowing that was a girl show.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Right? So I was like, I just liked cartoons. But, but like,
she was totally outrageous.
Truly outrageous. But like, you know, around 15, you're trying to figure out like, oh, I guess that's a boy thing and a girl thing and a kid thing, and so I'm like, all right, I guess I move on, but secretly I still watch Power Rangers. So what do I know? But
I gotta be real, it's weird because I was at that time I was still watching, like, I'm in the comics, and so I'm still watching anime, reading manga, reading comic books. So I never gave a lot of those kid things up, and I was still like checking out stuff on Disney Channel, like to this day, like when Wizards of Waverly Place came on, like, ooh, I'm right here for it. Let's go. Magical hijinks. Let's have some fun, everybody.
Future episode.
But the thing about this one, for some reason, I don't know why, but like every time I saw Zenon, I don't know, like, honestly, I think it might have been the costumes and the way it just kind of looked. It just kind of looked off-putting to me, where I was kind of like, this looks cheesy. But again, I was a fool. I didn't realize.
What do you want to elaborate on that?
Well, no, I agree on like the cheesiness of it, but it's what you expect from a Disney movie, like made for TV Disney movie. And you know, who are we to talk? We all probably watched The Luck of the Irish, and that's something.
Yeah.
But you know, when you look at the aesthetic, it makes sense with the time, because this is around the time the Spice Girls were like huge.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, true.
It's the 1995 or so, because this was 1999, right?
Yeah, so around 96, 97 when Spice Girls were around.
Exactly.
98
so
probably.
That makes sense why there's so much girl power, and so much of their aesthetic is very interesting and catered to that type of look. So, makes sense.
I want to bring up, what band do you think Microbe is emulating?
Oh, like when
is it Sugar Ray? Is it boy bands? Is it Smash Mouth?
I kind of feel you, like when I saw them, I was like, I kind of feel you guys are a boy band, but I feel you're spot on with that Sugar Ray comparison.
Because I feel like Protozoa. What's his full name again?
Protozoa. I
feel like he's emulating like a Mark McGrath thing with a British accent.
Well, because it seemed like he was talking about themselves as a band. So it wasn't like my boy band. No. It was a band. He's a rock star.
Yeah.
Was he though? What he would like to call himself is a rock star. Was there any rock in that music?
No. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Zoom, zoom, zoom.
You make my heart go boom, boom, boom.
I gotta be real, like, that was like, I love so many things about this movie, but that was the only thing I was like, what's happening right now? What's happening right now?
It's a catchy song. It's catchy.
It's catchy, but I'm like, I feel like it's a jingle, not actually a song. I'm like, what is the product you're selling here? Like, what is Zoom, and where do I buy it at?
Where's your Subaru? Come on. Zoom.
Can we talk about Zenon herself?
Yeah.
So cool. Yeah. So like, I just gotta be real. Like, as I was watching it, like as soon as like it opens up and things begin to do, the audio starts playing, which is like talk to yourself. Yeah. I was like, bruh. She's low-key Ferris Bueller.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Think about this those days. Like she goes by her own rules. She's popular. She's cool, but she's still nice to everybody. But again, she's like confident in herself, and she's willing to go on these adventures and like do all this kind of stuff. I was like, dude, you're a badass.
Yeah.
I will actually kind of weirdly admit that there are some things about some of the technology used in this movie where I'm like, normally when you watch the future, and you're like, right, that we don't, and there's a lot here that we don't do, but I will admit to like, hey, you know the video chatting thing, we actually are there now.
Yeah,
FaceTime.
It's true.
No, I agree with you. And then low-key, the thing that blew me away when she goes in the classroom and she puts in her earbuds. I was like, y'all called earbuds. Y'all called earbuds. earbuds.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, no, for real.
That's so sick.
No, I was kind of like thinking the same thing. I went, oh shit. Zenon was ahead of its time 20 years ago.
It was though. It really was. She really was a girl of the 21st century. And as a teacher,
tablet also.
She had a tablet.
And as a teacher, that is literally the problem I deal with. Is kids putting their earbuds in all the time. And you have to like check for the hair. I'm like, hey, take it out. Listen to me lecture. I'm boring, but still.
Oh my gosh.
I think she's a really interesting kid. She kind of gave me Nancy Drew vibes.
Oh, sure.
Like, trying to solve this mystery she came across. Very, like, Scooby-Doo and the gang. Not much, but there's a mystery to solve.
I think you're right. And I can imagine when they came up with the concept, it's like, okay, it's like Nancy Drew, Dennis the Menace in space.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
definitely.
And like, definitely, this movie then adds Ferris Bueller in the mix. Because of the way that she has like a group, you know, like, no, like what Nebula is essentially her Cameron, to a certain degree, and just kind of going, damn it.
She's like, but at the same time, she likes it though.
Right.
She's like, do we have to go watch the comic show? And then she's like, we about to go watch this comic show. He's like, Zenon, don't go on the spacewalk. Girl, you better go on that spacewalk.
She's the angel and the devil all at the same time.
Low key. And low key, I gotta say, that's something I liked about our group of friends too, though, because I was like, it's a multi-ethnic, like multi-gender, like group of friends, which is like bad A to see. Everybody had lines and roles, and they had like different responsibilities. Like, I still love that black kid who word guess is like head of security or something like that. He was busting out the passcodes and all the hookup and stuff and everything like that. I was like, this is dope. This is what's up.
Hell yeah.
And low-key, I've come up with a new test. I've called it the wire test.
Okay.
So you know how there's the Bechdel test? Where it's like there's like two female characters who have a conversation with each other, not about a man. And like all these different aspects of it. I got the wire test, like the wire on HBO. Where it's like I need to see two people of color talk to each other, not about the main white lead.
Okay.
And so here, I had two black characters talk to each other several times about stuff, and it wasn't always about the main one. I was like, this passes the wire test.
That's good.
Well done. Omar coming.
I like that. I like that.
From
the
Earth
wire
and the station too. So they.
That's true.
Yes!
That's true.
When she went to Earth, I was like, oh, we left the brother behind. We left Raven behind. And we got another brother. Yes! We coming up here. And then the homie was like the hacker and everything like that. I low-key started calling him the Black Bill Gates. He was over there busting out the computer skills, doing all the kind of stuff, everything like that. And then like low-key started going tangent about like my favorite scene is when he's like, oh, I found the information. He's like, cool, you're gonna come. What is like, nah, I got school. Like I have a future. I ain't got this white privilege. I gotta strive in the world. I gotta make up for lapsed time. I'll see y'all later. I was like, love this kid.
But
love him.
fam, you forgot the most important character, the fucking pilot of the ship.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Female woman, dude.
Yes.
That's beautiful.
Yes. As soon as I saw her run Captain Marvel, I was like, this is so dope.
Seriously.
One Asian character, sorry.
I'm sorry.
One, and she just shows up in like one scene, feeds her, and is like, hey, you're late, right? Yeah, okay. That's all I got. I got one.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Did anybody ever find out if Protozoa was of any ethnicity other than British?
No, I agree with you.
He's a person of color, but I couldn't find where that might come from.
Yeah.
No, I agree with you. I'm looking him up right now because like as you said that, I was like, look at Prozo, I was like, you look so like in Loki, his name is Philip Reyes. I'm like, are you Filipino and just not telling us?
Yeah.
It's possible.
I don't know.
Possible.
I don't know. He's British. He's from London. He does have like a background, shows all the stuff he's doing, but yeah, will not give us his racial breakdown. We don't get that. But yeah, he was a person of color too, though. We just don't know which.
And he was a prominent part of the movie.
Right.
Yeah, he got on the ship and everything like that. They played poker. He lost so many times.
Yeah.
And I was looking for a Latino character, and I don't know because look at the beginning, it was like Mr. Perez. I'm like,
no, Mr. Perez is
like
white as
Mr.
all
Perez.
Mr. Perez, I was like, excuse me. I know I'm a light-skinned Hispanic, but regardless, you ain't Hispanic. I am sorry, friend.
Okay. Now, how long did this go for? It's out. There's actually only 3 movies.
Yeah.
Now, while there was no series as originally intended, they made Zenon, the sequel. That's because it's a sequel.
Electric Boogaloo.
And then Z3, which I guess is a Disney thing. They like having D3, the Mighty Ducks. Z3, Zenon. Some other fun facts. I brought this up. I found out that there is one member of the Earth Grounded cast that actually had a strange future history with Disney.
Really?
Yeah. One of the characters in the movie, and I'm gonna look up his character name in a bit, but like the character's name is Matt. He's the other friend on the Earth group, and he's like that kid who's always hanging out on the couch wearing the bucket hat, and he kind of looks like a little weasel. His actor is Zach Lepisky, and I kind of was like, why do I know this kid? Look, and I realized like, oh, he's a director.
Oh, yeah.
So he's gone on, and I recognize him from a reality show called On the Lot, which came out in 2007, which was it was like American Idol, but directors. And that's how I got to know him. And I'm like, oh, and he's made some really interesting, cool short films. And then he got around to making movies, and he went off to make a Disney show called Mega XL.
Oh,
all right.
Nice.
Which is like, low-key, like a Power Rangers done better kind of show. Giant robots, cool fights, and etc. Smart writing. So
the shade.
But a really cool story. And so like he then went on to direct his last big project, another big Disney project, is to direct the live-action Kim Possible movie. So he went back to the mouse.
All right.
Yeah. Also kind of went on a weird journey. Went from one very awesome movie to a very not so much awesome movie. It Kim Possible, but we'll get there someday.
We'll get there someday. We'll get to the show first. We'll get to that movie. That's the sitch on that.
Okay. And then, of course, like just talking about like significant stars and guest stars on the show, bro. Raven-Symoné. Like I feel like this was like because so people may not be familiar. She's on a little show called The Cosby Show.
Yes.
We don't know where the name came from, Cosby, or who's it named after.
That's
like
really odd.
Yeah, it's weird. Some Cosby show. I don't know. But anyway, she was on that as a child star, blew up, and then later on, this is like her comeback, low key.
Yeah.
And she came back strong. She comes back with Disney, and then of course, what does it lead to later on? We get That's So Raven, the future she can see. So
this is post Mr. Cooper too.
Yeah. So for her, like she comes back, like, which is ABC, part of the Mouse family and everything like that too.
That's right.
So this is like, so this is dope for Raven.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
It's and that's probably the biggest Raven-Symoné in this first movie for sure. Now here's something that like I'll kind of admit, and I think you two will kind of agree with that. Like, there's usually talk about the cultural impact of the project.
Of course.
We all saw it. Like, you more watched the sequel as a kid, but me and Johnny kind of just saw it recently, and we honestly didn't know much about the cultural impact. I kind of wish we can get somebody who probably...
I have an idea.
You have somebody who would be good to kind of help us with this?
Exactly. Low-key, producer Stacy.
Oh, the one who's
producer of the show.
Oh, okay, sure.
Exactly. So, I got an idea. Nellii, we're going on an adventure.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
What the...
Hey.
Hey, what are you doing here?
I'm here to talk about Zenon. What about you?
Right. Okay, we were talking about Zenon, but we were kind of like, we needed to know more about like the cultural impact of that movie, and we were kind of lost. So
Gotcha. I think I can help with that.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Great.
For sure.
What about Zenon did you feel was like really important about watching that movie when you were a kid?
Right. So I was about 7 or 8 years old when it came out.
That's the right age to watch this movie.
Yeah, no, for real. I was like 7 or 8. It was a huge deal for me. Who knows how many times I watched it. Me and my girlfriend, like we would actually like kind of roleplay, like pretend we were like Zenon or like we were in the movie and like try to dress like her and like go through the whole thing. It was either that or act it out with like Barbie dolls or something.
Okay, fair. Wait, so you had like your space station look? You were kind of figuring that out?
Tried. There wasn't quite the spandexy type thing at the time that I had access to, but we tried.
Pigtails?
Yes.
Okay.
That was the easy part. That was the easy part. No, but it was a huge deal, and I think it's obvious, especially if you're watching it as a male, as to the appeal to girls a little more. But at the same time, I feel like it's a fun movie for anyone. I feel like though, just to watch, like the plot's fun. it's such a like different plot. Like I can't think of any other movie that has something even kind of similar to the whole like, you know, they live on a space station. She gets grounded to Earth. Like who? But it's so genius. Like.
What was it like when you were a first kid? Like, what was it exactly that like really connected you to like the story they were telling? It was like, was it because the fact it's like a young female character was just saying, I don't need to follow the rules, I can do my own thing, and like she's very confident in what she feels is right. Is like, are those the things that really kind of connected you with that?
Yes, and I think that's the thing when I was thinking back on this movie recently with this episode was that it's, to me, it seems like Zenon's character was kind of in the place of like where normally like a young boy would be at that time.
Sure.
And I thought that was so, I think to the appeal was that like that was just so interesting and so cool to me, where it's like usually it's like most movies it's like, oh, it's this young boy and he's a troublemaker.
Yeah.
And like he's the one getting in trouble and he's grounded and like he's trying to get out of it or prove that like he's not just like a troublemaker, you know? And I think that it was like a very different for that time that it was a girl in that place.
Sure. I can see that,
yeah, for sure. And then like, and it was almost like that girl power, like
Sure.
like an older, like a, you know, like a young version of like the girl power movement. But I think there was also, I felt like I could relate to Zenon because I felt like she has a lot of these like, she has a lot of skills, and she's actually very smart.
Yeah.
She's very smart, and she has a lot of, like, she's creative, and she has all these, like, good things going for her, but it seems like nobody understands that or knows, because it's just, like, from the outside, they just see, like, this troublemaker, they just see, like, oh, she's trouble, or, you know, or, like, she just kind of messes up all the time, and, you know, she's dumb because of that, like, and, or, you know, it's just, they just don't understand her, and it's cool how, you know, it's cool that she gets to put in that situation on Earth where she gets to kind of start over. Like, they don't actually know her, and it just goes to show, it's like, you know, if you just don't, you know, just don't perceive the person from the outside like that, or from what other people say about them, and you actually get to know the person, like, you know, like, they're cool, like, she made friends on there immediately.
So basically, like, all those kind of themes, like, tied into, like, oh, this is a story I can sort of weirdly relate to or look forward to about when I get older, because you weren't even a teenager at this point when you saw it.
Yeah, but that was, like,
a window to a teenage life you could have.
Yeah, but I could already relate to that whole, like, misunderstood thing, because as a kid, I was really quiet. And just because you're quiet when you're a kid, that just meant you were weird and like you were dumb and like it was someone that you shouldn't be friends with. So like I kind of felt the same way, and the teachers thought I was trouble for no reason, and it was just
oh, interesting.
Yeah, so I definitely felt a connection.
Okay.
To that, yeah.
Nice. First, can I get my friends back?
I think so. I don't know where they went.
Okay. Before we get them back, is there anything else you want to say to the viewers who are still interested in but they're not sure they want to watch it yet?
I think this movie, other than maybe a few details, I think it really does hold up. And I think it's like a fun movie no matter how old you are and gender or anything. Like, I think it's fun. Okay. It's fun and it has good messages. It really does.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So how do I get Johnny and Nellii back?
I actually don't know.
Okay.
Hey, Justin.
Hey,
good to see you.
That was fun.
Justin, guess what? We went to the space station.
Fucking yes.
It was so awesome.
It was way cool.
Wait, what? Seriously?
Yes.
Wait, seriously?
Yes.
Wait.
We got to walk around the space station like, Earth gravity sucks.
It does. I did hang out in the trash a lot. Found some treasures.
Wait. Why did you guys bring me on this?
You got to stay here and talk to producer Stacy.
That's
You want to go to the
as
space
cool.
station? You're an Earth boy. You're like Zenon's boyfriend.
Earth boy.
You like the Earth, the dirt,
Gravity.
the grass, the crime, all the stuff Zenon's mom talked about. That's you, Justin. That's you. We space people.
Yeah, space people for life.
But the conversation I did have with Stacy was good. Would have liked to have been on space. Now! I'm leaving you behind.
What?
Hello?
All right. But let's talk about the movie again and go a little bit about like the plot.
So the movie opens with Zenon like waking up and going to school and everything like that. So we kind of start and like we see her life and see her parents, which is totally dope. Like it's really cool. She has a great relationship with her dad.
Right.
She's a total daddy's girl. And honestly, her relationship with her mom is good, but also like kind of contentious because her mom's like the disciplinarian.
She's in the stress helmet a lot.
Yeah, which is hilarious. Which was hilarious. But I low key kind of like that relationship though because it's kind of like true in a way. Like I remember growing up, like as I became a teenager, it was me and my dad who kind of like danced eye to eye, but my mom kind of like still that love and support, which usually happens a lot of times. So I was like really cool to see that. But kind of like producer Stacy talked about, we saw how smart she was.
Yeah,
like, we saw she's the leader of her group of friends. She's nice to everybody. She figures out these like great adventures and things they can go on.
Yeah.
So we see that life of her happening at school, but we also find out that the space station that she lives on is in danger because they don't have enough funding. They're a research lab.
Right.
Yes.
And so they have this like big businessman who owns everything who comes on board. Wyndham. But everyone else is like, Wyndham's so cool. Wyndham, man. And then she's like, nah, he a son of a bitch. I was like, wait, what?
Shifty motherfucker.
If I've learned anything in the 21st century, is don't trust corporate white guys.
Yeah.
Again, ahead of his time. She saw this coming.
Holy
She
shit.
knew how our presidential elections were going to go. She called this from the get-go. Zenon is on point with this.
Oh, fuck.
Anyways,
So she tries to.
I'm sure the comment section below is gonna be delightful.
Yay. But like, so she.
Go ahead.
So after that, like she tries to expose him, but ends up like because they apparently trying to go to the master computer lab, the servers, which is like this is actually legit computer talk. Like,
Oh, yeah.
But apparently something happens where like they've done something to servers and need to figure out what. But she doesn't end up getting catching them. Instead, she ends up getting like trapped in there herself, and she gets not supposed to be there. It's like prohibited, and she gets punished. And the captain, which I thought was pretty cool, like I low-key like the captain here. Like a lot of times, like he's like in most movies, he's just like a bumbling comedy character.
Right.
But here he was like a little bit more serious. And so like I liked his punishment. He was like, you guys can punish her, but you need to make sure that it's strict enough, otherwise I will have to step in.
Right.
Yeah.
Which was like, damn, this is really smart writing.
I'm kind of no, I agree. I was surprised, like this, especially when I saw that actor. I've seen him as that version of the character.
Bubbling like fool and everything.
So
like
I was
that.
ready for him to be like, blowing a gasket every 10 seconds. I was waiting for him to be like, "Arr!" No, shockingly not. He actually was like, I'm business. This is the answer.
Well, he's the captain of the ship.
Yeah.
Like, he's just like, I'm still your bud, but I need you to stay in fucking order.
Right.
I'm kicking you off the boat.
Yeah.
Yeah, and her parents made that call. They're like, "You're gonna go stay with your aunt, what was it? Aunt Judy."
Aunt Judy.
Exactly, which was like, bruh. And so because of that, she gets sent off the space station, goodbye to her friends, and she gets sent to Earth for the very first time.
Yeah.
And then up till now, it was interesting because her mom always talked about Earth and was always explaining to her like, it was bad, there's pollution, the crime, like all this stuff. That's why we leave her on the space station. Like, we're safe here, it's nice. But she gets taken down to a small town on Earth where she goes to live with her Aunt Judy, and she's expected to be terrible.
Yeah.
But actually, some interesting things happen.
Well, it's kind of weird to get this classism again in this movie. I kind of wasn't. I was kind of surprised we got that. It's like the higher ups are better, but then the people back here stuck here got air quote a worse life. And you realize like not really. They're fine. It's just a different life.
Yeah. But it's one of those like. Even like currently in our worlds, we're so in a bubble of just our particular area that we don't care about everybody else and consider ourselves better than everybody else. And I think that kind of works in a way because it's like, oh yeah, no, we're making these own little bubbles and assumptions about each other when we're all the fucking same at the end.
No, those are deep thought. I agree with you.
Yeah.
And also, like, and when it goes, and it's interesting too because, like, as technology continues to develop, you have Elon Musk who is with SpaceX trying about going to Mars, making commercial space flight. One of the things is that we could get to the point one day where people can have the option to live on space stations. Here, it was a more diverse group of people and like people of different economic backgrounds. I'm assuming because they're a research facility.
Yeah.
So it's literally just a bunch of scientists and like security workers and pilots and things along those lines. But if there's an apartment in space with a school district and all these different things like that, guaranteed it'll probably be set up by rich people first and everything like that.
Yeah.
And then down here on Earth, it'll be just a bunch of poor people just like trying to make it.
Yeah.
I'll be down here like, I wish I could go to space.
It's gonna be like that movie Elysium.
Or low-key like all the Gundam Wing anime.
All the Gundam Wing anime.
Colonies and everything like that. Okay, so
grim and gritty reboot of Zenon from the director of
oh my gosh, I would totally want Zenon pilot a Gundam. Oh my gosh. And it still has like a ponytail and everything like that.
Listen, Disney.
Oh, wait, what's her? I love the slang from this movie. What's her catchphrase? It's
Cetus-Lupeedus! Everyone gets all gaseous on me.
Silence, Major.
Can we scrub this mission, please? I've suddenly lost my appetite. Enjoy it with adult interference minor.
Zetus-Lupeedus!
Zetus-Lupeedus!
Stop it, Gundam! Zetus-Lupeedus attack!
Listen, Disney, when you get the Goof Troop offer backs and the Stormtroopers, and you're willing to listen to us, we have a hell of a pitch. Zenon with a mech. Boom, done.
Exactly. Okay, I think we're good. I thought I heard those gaggle goofies coming again.
No, it's just a Buzz Lightyear rights.
All right.
No, we're fine. It's fine. We're fine. Everyone's good.
The mouse. All right, let's go back. All right, back to the plot. All right, so she crash lands on Earth, and there, honestly, was one of my favorite scenes. She crash lands. Judy's trying to get her adjusted, everything like that. She's
how do you think crash lands? It's like, well, emotionally she's crashed. Emotionally she crashed.
Yeah, sorry,
but
she lands on Earth.
She lands on Earth. And she's like,
Judy,
and she looks around like, fuck.
Exactly. I love how she's walking and the gravity's so heavy. She's like, why is it so heavy?
That's such a fun little touch to it.
Yeah, I know. It's great physical comedy on her part too, which is dope.
Yeah.
But what's cool is her Aunt Judy takes her out to lunch, and they're sitting there, and across from her is a bunch of teens, and so usually this is like their own group and everything like that. And the girl in there, because I guess the guy character is like kind of like checking Zenon out. He's like, who's this space hottie or whatever, and so but she gets jealous and she tries to insult Zenon, like crack a joke on or whatever. But then I see one of the coolest things. Zenon just stands up for herself. She like puts her hands on the tables like, no, you're blah blah blah. And I was like, oh,
not today, Margie.
Exactly. In your face. And I was like, this is dope. And I'm loving the message right here that they're saying is like, young girls, it's like, you ain't gotta you can stand up for yourself. It's like, so there will be times where people will talk about you or bully you or whatnot, but you just stand your ground and be confident like Zenon is, which is like, that's an awesome message. This is dope.
Be yourself.
Yes.
Exactly. And I was worried because I thought it was gonna be one of those things where it's like, it's like, oh, you're cool and popular here, but you go this place and now you're like the loser or whatever. So it's like, no, if I'm confident here and I'm covering myself here, I'm gonna come down here, it's gonna be the exact same way.
Yeah. But it's still an adjustment for her though.
No, life on Earth is total adjustment for her. Yeah,
that's the thing I do like. It's like she's not coming in here going like, I got this. She definitely has to learn how to readjust. Yeah. And I guess that's another thing that's kind of relatable to a lot of kids. Like when you get uprooted from where you're comfortable with and you have to go to a new town to start a life again. It's like, okay, how do you do things differently here? And just kids are freaking cruel. So you're gonna have a group of kids. You have a group of kids who are gonna just hate you for literally just being someone who just walked in the door.
Exactly. Yeah. And you have to get adjusted to all these different things on Earth, like the food. She had never tried like a lot of those solid foods before. And then there was the stuff with the flowers, and it's like she's like, why do you have these in space? We have a hydroponics lab to produce oxygen, which I'm like, I'm loving from like Voyager and like everyone else. We have a hydroponics lab, which is like, no, we just have these because sometimes it's just nice to appreciate beautiful things. And I'm like, this is poetic in some couple ways. And then so it was like so dope. So I give them a lot of credit here. Like coming, her Earth transition was like really good, and to connect to another movie that I wish had done this better, low key Captain Marvel. Like Captain Marvel, I love and everything like that. And Carol Danvers is bad A, and the comic's amazing. But I wish with that whole thing when she came to Earth, I wish they had played on that with this a lot more. Because I feel that's where more of the natural comedy is for that movie.
No.
Is that her like getting adjusted, seeing all these different things or whatnot.
No, I can agree with that.
Yeah, so Zenon, she's going through, she's trying to figure out, but she's still worried about her friends on the space station and everything like that. And but
that's what we're gonna find out. Like there's like, she finds out that there's a plot that's going on with Wyndham, and it's basically the deal is they've infected the station with a virus, a virus that's gonna basically shut everything down and crash this will crash the space station into Earth unless Zenon can find a way to stop it.
And so it was cool. It's like she calls her parents like, yo, is there anything happening? Like, I feel there's something wrong. Because also they're sending that guy after her, the Wyndham's assistant.
Lutz.
He's like, Lutz is like always following her around, like breaking to their house and all this stuff. But she calls her parents aren't honest with her, like, everything's fine, you're nervous about Earth, you're just being a teenager, blah blah blah. She's like, no, listen to me. And they're like, no, we got this. But then when they call, there's like the station, like you said, shutting down, it's shaking, all this stuff's happening. So what does Zenon call? She calls her girl Raven. Here's the thing, I know her name's Nebula, but that's Raven. So she calls Raven and she's like, yo, what's happening and everything like that. And then Raven breaks it down for her and she's like, yo, everything's going crazy here, the power's going out, all this kind of stuff. And that's when Zenon realized that, okay, there's a virus, something going on, we need to fix this, we gotta do something. And so when she goes to her, so now she's low-key reformed a relationship with that boy who's like kind of helped her out or whatever. They start backtracking, that's when they figure out that the earring that Nebula gave her as a gift is actually the disc that has the virus on it.
It's all going on in this movie.
Yeah.
And one of the kids magically makes makes an antivirus?
Oh yeah, the Black Bill Gates. Analyzing that bad boy. He's like, oh yeah, and I created an antivirus. Why?
No big deal.
Because I'm the shit. I am the shit. Duh.
I can drive a car, no problem.
Exactly. And so they make the antivirus, and now they're trying to figure out a way to get her up on the space station and everything. And so her original way like kind of fails. She's trying to figure out how to get back, and luckily enough, Sugar Ray steps up and saves the day.
Because they want to fly.
Yes. All right, you want to talk about the Sugar Ray? So let's go to
Microbe's bit is basically they're going to do a performance on the space station, and Wyndham, interestingly enough, decided to set up before the weird problems with the space station, but they're going to proceed. This is all part of an elaborate plan from Wyndham to basically cover their butts. And he goes, no, we were planning to destroy our...
We were trying to get something new happening.
I dropped a lot of money to the station. We got this great, successful Sugar Ray band up into space to perform. And that's how Zenon decided, that's how I'm going to get back on the that's how I'm going to get back on the station. I'm going to hitch a ride. I won a contest. Oh, by the way.
She
won
the fucking contest.
There's a contest to meet Protozoa and Microbe, the band we're talking about, not Sugar Ray. Let's be clear, I know it's not Sugar Ray, but I mean, they're kind of look like Sugar Ray.
Same frosted tips.
It's pretty much Sugar Ray. But, because they came out in they were like huge in 98.
They were.
I'm sorry. But basically, their goal was to like, okay, I'm gonna remind them, I'm the one who won this contest. She made a
creepy ass doll.
I wasn't gonna say it, but you're right.
By the way, though, I do also give the credit about the other message of this movie: recycling. They make all their jewelry, all their stuff from like trash, and go through there. And they make all this stuff. I'm just like, why are y'all so woke? Why are y'all so woke right now? Y'all on a whole nother level and everything like that.
I bet they use like plastic straws up there. That's a plastic straw space station.
Oh no.
So definitely, I'm just kidding. They probably use like glass straws up there.
Zenon and Nebula are trying to get that campaign going right now. It's like, we need glass straws.
People are still fighting it up there. Listen, it's gonna save the turtles, but
it will. Michelangelo, Donatello, Raphael.
I'm not
saying all the turtles.
I'm not knocking on that, FYI. I'm just saying that's what they probably will do up there. But basically, they remember, no, Protozoa was like, that's right, you're the girl who won our contest. That's my really bad British accent.
It's not the same as his, but his was actually Jimmy because he is British, but
it's really weird, right?
I was like, still sounds awkward for some reason.
Still gets on the ship, so she gets on the ship with them. Wyndham catches wind. Aunt Judy also got caught up in this.
Yes.
This whole thing with Aunt Judy, where the whole deal is that she never left Earth to be with her family because she is afraid of traveling.
Yeah.
So I sit there and I'm like, that's probably gonna not happen. That's probably gonna change for you by the end of this film. I have a suspicion. Look who's on the ship.
And also who's on that ship as well, because they're trying to stop him, is Wyndham and his little henchman and everything like that. So they get on the space station, but they get trapped in like a tire wheel or something like that.
You know what's a good move? I'll give this to Zenon. There's a good move when they're launching up into space. Wyndham and Lutz are trying to claw out, and she's like, I'll be back. And she like slides down, kind of like a badass.
Yep.
Pushes them into what this like sort of luggage trash thing, and went, see ya, closes the door.
Bye.
I'm like, that's pretty good.
That was dope. And then what's crazy is like she's on the ship. Then they get to the space station, and they're like the trip takes them like an hour or something like that. What I thought was dope is that she came on a plan.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't one of those things where it's like I'm going by like the seat of my tails or whatever. I'm going to rely on somebody else to make the plan. It's like, no, I made a plan. Let's go to the plan. Let's get it going, and the plan works.
Yeah.
She goes in there with gets her friends together, her own Scooby gang and whatnot. They go about trying to figure out a way to get save the space station by getting the virus and then putting it in there. Windows tries to stop them, lies on them several times or whatever. And then did she say Plan B?
Oh yeah, because of the vent situation.
Oh yeah.
She's like, it's the only one that actually doesn't open. She's like, that's why we did Plan B.
Exactly. That was a Plan B.
That's when Raven pops her head.
Exactly. Yeah. And I'm just like, y'all are on point right now. She had time to come up with Plan A, B. I'm walking here and see what happened with C. And C, that she just start murdering people. Like, we don't gotta go. But no, Zenon doesn't murder.
No murder.
No
murder.
But so they go from there. They get to the computer. They input the antivirus. Thank you, Black Bill Gates. They take it out, and then Zenon saves the space station. Wendell gets arrested. Lutz and them go to jail and everything like that. And she's seen as a hero, and everybody realizes she was right this whole time.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it all ends with a micro concert.
Zoom, zoom, zoom.
And
no.
I am not a big fan of the song.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
I'm glad you liked it.
Catchy, but I was like,
I'm glad you enjoyed it. This is the only part of the movie I went fast forward.
I gotta be honest,
It doesn't make your heart go boom, boom, boom.
It does not make my heart go boom, boom, boom. I
Damn.
apologize. It's the one part that I cannot connect to.
yeah.
Because you guys aren't supernova girls.
I'm sorry. I grew up.
Fair.
This is the age of boy bands, and so this is when I had my NSYNC, I had my Backstreet, I had my 98 Degrees. I was a fan of the boy bands of that time, and I'm just looking like y'all ain't even trying right now. Like, oh my gosh.
Hey, but good on
Old Town brought more juice than this. Come on, y'all.
Yeah.
But good on Zenon for giving her grand prize to Nebula.
Which is dope, yeah.
Because and she was like, and I like she brought up the good point that I hung out with him on the way over here.
Yeah,
Exactly.
definitely.
I'm good.
Exactly. This is your dream, and it just goes to show you how good of a person Zenon is and everything like
definitely.
that. Adds more to her character, which is dope to see and everything.
Yeah.
So all that happens, and we almost forgot the most important plot point. Judy got a man.
Oh, hell yeah.
With Plank.
Yeah. Captain sees her, was like, "What's up, baby girl?"
And she's like,
"How you doing?"
And she's like,
"Welcome to my shit."
Not much. What's going on over here?
He's like, "I'm the captain." Always.
There's that moment. Yeah, there's that moment where I think Aunt Judy was pointing out to Xena and Earth. They're going like, "You've been here for less than a week. You're already better with guys."
Yeah, there's a lot of good setup here and everything like that.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I think we kind of skipped over it, but gotta talk about her boy crush,
Greg.
Yeah, what'd you guys think about Greg?
Well, Greg, I actually recognize. I think was it Everwood?
Yes,
the CW
Everwood.
show. Yeah, so I recognize him there. I think I saw him in a couple other movies where he died a lot. But I do recognize him here. Funny enough, his name is Gregory. The actor's name is Gregory.
Really?
And
Easy for him.
yeah, it's like
Nice.
easy to play.
Who am I playing? Greg? Wow, nice. I'm mailing this one in.
Works it. The last movie I saw him in was a movie, I kid you not, called Hobo with a Shotgun.
Hobo with a shotgun.
Oh,
he was
he's in that?
He was one of the deadly evil sons who was like murderous.
Oh, shit.
And killed a bunch of kids on a bus. Anyways.
Did not know that. Wow, okay. Alright, so
But he doesn't do that here. He's a nice boy here.
yes. How'd you guys feel about the relationship? Did you guys feel it was like organic? Did you guys the way they did it and everything?
I feel like she would have been fine without a romantic interest, in all honesty.
Sure.
Like, I feel like she could have just made really cool friends in, like, Earth. I didn't think there was a need for her to have him be her specific, like, interest.
Yeah. I think there is some chemistry, so I'll give them that.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
It's believable.
Between the horse and her, right?
Right, of course.
Oh my god.
Why are you taking it out of the table? It's fine there. He looks like he's fine there. I think they're fine. Yeah, it's not the best, and it's fine for
They're
me.
cute.
I feel
it's
you,
fine.
yeah.
It felt slightly forced, though.
Sure.
I liked elements of it though because some of my favorite scenes happened with that relationship because I will agree with you, it didn't feel natural because it still felt like a force in places, but I love that whole woman. Love the fact that it was never he was saving her.
Oh yeah,
it was like the whole relationship is like they're progressing at their own natural pace and everything like that.
Yeah.
And she's like, okay, I need your help with this and everything like that. And I was like, I was me too because I was having a bad day, my bad, but blah blah blah. It's hard to adjust here. And then he's like, well, I can help you, but I got to work first. Do you want to see a horse? And she's like, and then she's like, wait. Real horses? Which kind of cracked me up. I was like, all right, who doesn't love a good pony?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like rarity forever. And so it was like that was cool to see. I loved when they were on the date and she's trying earth food for the first time.
Because you can't. I think that's just reality. It's like once you try fried food, it's over.
Oh.
Exactly. Once you have onion rings, like chili fries, all this stuff, you're just like, I might not leave. And honestly, my favorite part of that relationship is she's like, Greg, if you're going to kiss me, just just kiss me. I was like, dude, she was so powerful in this relationship too. She was like, look, I take control of this. There's never a point where like I need to be the bystander.
Right.
I'm pushing go on everything. So I agree with you guys.
Yeah.
It didn't feel natural, but I love the beats it showed.
There are some
like
beats that are
women
good.
where it was kind of like, yo, you can be powerful and be strong and be a leader in like all aspects of your life.
Oh, definitely.
And also show your intentions. Show that you want.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so now we get to our favorite part, which is the rating.
Right.
So now we're going to give our individual ratings. We rate it as woke, waking, or sleep as shit.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Got some. So Disney took our whiteboards. Hopefully, get some new ones.
We had to leave it.
Yeah, no. Well, I mean, like they're sniffing us, so it's fair. Okay. Thank you.
Boop. All right.
All right. While we're figuring out our answers, why don't you go ahead and in the comments, go ahead and suggest like what kind of. What would you like to be doing on the space shuttle that they're at? Like, do you want to work? Do you want to go, like, do you want to work? Do you want to, like, work in the agricultural? Do you want to, like, kind of figure things out? Do you want to be a teacher there? Do you want to actually just be a student there? Let us know in the comments. And, okay. And, Johnny's the writer, so he's going to take a bit.
Sorry. Okay, you guys ready?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so we're revealing our answers to the screen on 3.
All right.
Yes.
Alrighty, okay, here we go. On 3. 1, 2, 3. Go.
Woke.
Woke.
Waking.
Oh.
Really? I put woke with my per se Cetus-Lupeedus.
I said for the time, I think it's woke.
I will say, okay, if I was going to put that in context, yes, for the time, it's awake as shit. But, we're talking about 20 years ago, but if I'm talking about now, and
Okay, you go ahead, go first. What'd you give it?
I say waking because, like, hey, I'm giving it an A for effort. A for effort's good.
Okay.
But I did point out earlier, like, hey, so there's, like, no Asian representation in this movie.
I feel you,
There's no Latino representation in this film. And it's very much it's fine, but it's, like, kind of still from the point of view of a white protagonist.
Yeah.
So
I feel you.
So, hey, I get it, though. I get it. I will say in 1990, if we were doing this show for some reason, in 1999, boom.
Yeah.
That is surprising. And I'll say, as a 2019, watching it 20 years later, in 2020, I am surprised to go, hey, you know what? Way more than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
So this is waking, but very close to woke.
Yeah.
In my opinion. But, don't get me wrong, I think both of you, I can definitely agree and understand why you both say woke. So.
Yeah.
Okay. I said woke because, like, to be honest with you, I think I was really influenced by how much I liked it.
Sure.
Because that was kind of influenced too, because you bring up a lot of great points, and I agree with you totally. Like, why couldn't Raven and Zenon kind of switched?
Yeah.
And then boom, you're even more progressive than you were just a moment ago.
Right.
Or how can Black Bill Gates and Greg switched?
Right.
And all of a sudden you're doing like a diverse relationship as well, a racial couple.
Why couldn't one of the friends on Earth be Asian if you didn't have an Asian?
No, I agree with you. Or like, why couldn't Miss Perez actually be Miss Perez?
Miss Perez.
Yeah.
Exactly, a little more Latino representation. So
Why couldn't Captain Plank be played by an Asian or a person of color?
Exactly.
No.
And we still can't figure out what Sugar Ray was, but
We do not know what protozoa.
exactly. So
McGrath.
exactly. So
Maybe he just had an awesome tan.
maybe, or maybe he's New Zealanders.
Maybe he could be Islander.
He could be Pacific Islander, and there's my slight Pacific Islander Asian.
Yeah, but we don't know though.
We
So
don't know.
yeah,
And that's the thing, it's not important, but I would like.
But no, in a way, it's the reason why we do this. It is important because when you see
That's
that's how empowers you. Because, like, for example, if you switch Black Bill Gates and Greg, then all of a sudden I'm more related to Black Bill Gates. Like, yeah, Black Bill Gates, you get the girl. Like, yeah, that's what we doing here.
I will say I am glad that Protozoa isn't a white rock and roll guy.
Yep.
I'm glad he is somewhat of a person of color.
It's interesting that he's ambiguous, so I guess you could eventually just portray yourself into that,
That's true. I'll give you that. So again, it's waking really close to like
No, I agree.
Getting
that.
Yeah.
Like, your low key almost making me want to change mine, but you can't.
Agreed.
But I got the reason why I gave it woke though is because, like, from the get go, it just passes the Bechdel test.
Yeah.
Like, it's just immediately like dope to see like strong female characters. Raven with the diversity, like black best friend. Raven is still prominent here. She comes up with the backup plan with like Plan B, working together and everything like that. She's her own like independent, like with her own like goals. Well, no, she's still responding to like the plot and everything like that. It would be cool maybe see like a subplot with her, but again, like this movie went by really quickly. It was like a pilot for like Zenon and everything. I love diversity with like Black Bill Gates and the black best friend on space and everything like that, which is dope.
I love it's constantly Black Bill Gates.
That's his name. That's Black Bill Gates.
That's right. I'm with you, man.
Also love the fact that passed my new test, the Wire test.
That's a good test.
So there was a point where like Raven and the other black character like had a conversation about something. And again, I love the fact that kind of like our producer Stacy brought up, because I thought that with the two, is that she's pretty much like that Dennis and Menace, that Ferris Bueller character. Yeah. This is, you will usually see a boy doing this. Yeah. And it was so dope to see a girl seeing this.
Yeah.
And so again, I agree with like what you put yours like for the time. I was like, shit, this is progressive in a lot of ways, especially when we talk about the recycling aspect of it as well. Again, it's doing a lot of things that even today some movies aren't doing.
Oh, sure.
But you're right though. Making a couple slight tweaks takes it to that next level, makes it even better.
Yeah. I said for the time, we got a strong female representation. Hello? Are they here?
We don't need to see his identification. These aren't the droids we're looking for.
Okay, I think we're good. Go ahead.
Okay. Okay.
Mouse is in the house. We gotta wrap this up.
I know. Strong female representation. Yes. I did appreciate that it wasn't just one person of color that was there. You know, whether it just have been just the black community that got represented, there was multiple representations of it, and I consider that a win for the time. I'm cool with that, because you know what? Just knowing that there's someone different, and that there was a little girl that saw Raven-Symoné and said, "Holy fuck, that girl is black and I am black, so I can be a space princess too." You know, it's one of those, like, I could be a supernova girl, so that's great. It's just a bummer that you got the Hispanic community and the Asian community that kind of gets. But you know what? I'll take the win when I can get it.
Absolutely.
Something is something.
Yes.
I did enjoy that it wasn't, her intelligence and everything wasn't forced, like, oh, she's supposed to be this type of person. She had her flaws, and she was just a kid, but an awesome ass fucking kid that hung out with multiple types of people and treated everyone the fucking same. So I thought it was cool. I, just like JP had said previously, like, I enjoy that, you know, they bring up the like self-sustaining kind of stuff, and just a fun movie. I dig it, but I completely agree with you.
Cool. All right. I think we all had a good time. This movie was a good time. I, again, legitimately shocked how much I ended up enjoying it for what it is.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
Like, it stepped up in a lot of ways that I didn't expect it to.
Yeah.
And it was just awesome to see. And interesting fact, the Protozoa guy is on Twitter. And he's on Instagram, and if you click on his oh my god.
No, what?
So
what?
So if you go to his Instagram, it says actor, director, Zoom!
Hero!
This man knows his fan base.
Shit.
Oh my god.
No.
All right.
Oh shit. No, guys. We gotta go.
Just make sure you tune in next time.
Subscribe. The link. Like this video if you like us, and then subscribe to the channel. If you want to keep up to date, and don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Twitter. And we gotta go.
Next time what are we doing?
Cetus-Lupeedus! Yo, just want to say thank you all for coming through and watching us today. We had a blast discussing Zenon. Thank you to Nellii for coming through and hanging out with me and Justin. She was amazing. If you like Nellii and all the cool things she said, do us a favor, look down below and you can find her contact information. It'll also be appearing on the screen. And as always, if you want to support the channel, please be sure to like, share, subscribe, and you can give us a follow on Instagram and Twitter. Or you can also please support us on Patreon. On Patreon, you get access to bonus episodes as well as advanced content that's not coming to YouTube or podcast yet. And again, none of this is possible without all of you. So again, thank you. Please be sure to like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Peace.